15 things every Brit did in the 1980s that no one does anymore. There's something beautifully familiar about the British 1980s. A decade bursting with color, music, and simple routines that now feel like distant memories. Long before smartphones and streaming, daily life moved at a gentler pace, shaped by quirky traditions that brought people together across towns, cities, and villages. From mixtapes and red phone boxes to giant camcorders and unmissable TV schedules, the 80s created moments that still warm the heart. So here's a nostalgic journey through 15 things every Brit did in the 1980s that no one does anymore, celebrating a truly unforgettable era. 15. Rewinding cassettes with a pencil. Anyone who lived through 1980s Britain remembers fixing cassette tapes with a pencil. Those little plastic rectangles held your favorite albums and radio recordings, but were fragile enough to unravel at any moment. When a tape spilled out, you didn't panic. You slid a pencil into the spool and wound it back with slow, careful turns. It was a simple act that every kid and adult knew instinctively. The soft clicking sound, the gentle rewinding motion, and the relief of saving your music created a memory that still feels strangely comforting today. 14. Taping songs off the radio. Before streaming existed, capturing a song meant recording it straight off the radio. You sat beside the stereo, finger hovering over the record button, hoping to catch the track cleanly. If the DJ talked over the intro, it felt like a tragedy. But when you managed a clear recording, it was like winning a prize. People built entire music collections this way, filling drawers with tapes labeled in rushed handwriting. Each one carried little quirks, uneven sound, faint background noises, or a sibling shouting in the distance, turning every tape into a personal treasure. 13. Calling friends from red phone boxes. The classic red phone box was the center of communication long before mobiles. You'd see them everywhere. On street corners, near shops, beside parks, glowing like little landmarks of connection. There was always a queue, especially in the evenings, as people waited in the rain or cold for their turn. Once inside, you rushed through your conversation, trying to finish before the beeps signaled your money was running out. Sometimes calls cut off halfway through, and you'd scramble for another coin. These phone boxes weren't just functional. They shaped how people stayed in touch across Britain. 12. Enjoying Angel Delight as a big treat. Angel Delight was the unofficial dessert of the 1980s. Every cupboard seemed to have a packet ready for moments when families wanted something sweet without fuss. Kids loved whisking the mixture and watching it thicken into mousse within minutes. Flavors like strawberry, banana, chocolate, and butterscotch tasted like pure childhood. Families served it after Sunday dinners, school days, or small celebrations. It was simple, affordable, and universally loved. Even though it's still on the shelves today, it no longer carries the magical weight it did in homes across the UK during the 80s. 11. Watching TV you couldn't pause. Television in the 1980s required punctuality and commitment. If a show aired at 7:30, everyone was in the living room by 7:25. There was no pause button, no replay, and no catch-up service waiting for you later. When advert breaks arrived, people sprinted to make tea, grab biscuits, or dashed to the bathroom before the show returned. Families watched together because they had no other choice, turning TV night into a shared ritual. By the time Monday came around, everyone at school or work was talking about the same episodes, a rare kind of communal excitement that modern life no longer recreates. 10. Wearing leg warmers everywhere. Leg warmers were one of the decade's most iconic fashion choices. Inspired by dance culture and energetic fitness trends, they leapt from studios into everyday wardrobes. Children wore them to school, Teenagers layered them over jeans, and adults paired them with leggings. They came in neon colors, bright patterns, and soft knitted styles. Today, they might seem quirky, but they perfectly capture the expressive, colorful personality of the era. You can almost hear 80s pop music just by looking at old photos full of confident, bright outfits topped off with leg warmers. 9. Browsing the Freeman's or Littlewood's catalog. Before online shopping became the norm, families relied on big, glossy catalogs from Freeman's or Littlewood's. These books offered everything imaginable: clothes, toys, furniture, appliances, and more. They arrived through the letterbox like an event. Kids rushed to the toy pages, circling items they hoped to see at Christmas. Adults browsed fashion pages or home decor sections, taking their time over choices. Some families even used monthly payment plans to spread the cost. Catalogs didn't just let you shop, they let you imagine, plan, and dream. They made browsing feel like an experience, not a quick transaction. 8. Filming holidays with huge camcorders. Holiday videos in the 80s were pure nostalgia in the making. Camcorders were enormous, heavy, and noisy, but families took them everywhere. To beaches, parks, zoos, and birthday parties. Parents proudly carried them on their shoulders, capturing shaky footage and dramatic zooms. The audio often picked up every gust of seaside wind or the rustling of jackets, but none of that mattered. Back home, families gathered around the TV to watch the recordings on VHS, laughing at awkward moments and reliving memories together. Those tapes now sit in lofts and cupboards, becoming priceless little windows into the past. 7. Playing arcade machines at the seaside. British seaside towns were at their best in the 80s, and arcades were the heartbeat of the experience. Rows of glowing machines lined the walls, each one calling players with flashing lights and catchy electronic music. Kids rushed in with pockets full of coins, ready to take on Pac-Man, Space Invaders, Outrun, pinball tables, and the endlessly frustrating grabber machines. Friends cheered each other on. Siblings fought for the highest score. Parents got a few moments of peace while kids immersed themselves in the fun. The mix of sea air, chips, excitement, and blaring arcade sounds created a vibe that's impossible to forget. 6. Using Tipp-Ex for everything. Before digital editing tools took over, Tipp-Ex was the great fixer of mistakes. Students used it for homework. Office workers used it on reports. Parents relied on it for handwritten notes and forms. You brushed it on, waited for it to dry, and rewrote neatly on top. Its slightly sharp smell filled classrooms and desks everywhere. People sometimes painted over entire lines of text, because rewriting the whole page felt too tedious. Tipp-Ex symbolized a slower, more hands-on era, when correcting a mistake required patience rather than a tap of a keyboard. 5. Reading smash hits for lyrics. In the 1980s, if you wanted song lyrics, Smash Hits magazine was your best friend. Every issue printed the words to the latest chart toppers, along with colorful posters and cheeky interviews. Teenagers would buy a copy, hurry home, and practice singing along to cassette tapes using the lyrics printed inside. Bedrooms across the UK were decorated with posters torn from the magazine. Its playful writing style and fun tone made it a major influence on young music fans. Even today, many people look back on Smash Hits as the place where their love for music truly began. 4. Making mixtapes for friends. Making a mixtape was a surprisingly emotional craft. You didn't just pick random songs, you created a journey. You selected tracks with care, recorded each one manually, and arranged them to flow just right. Then came the handwritten labels, doodles, stickers, or personalized covers. Friends exchanged mixtapes for birthdays, celebrations, and sometimes as heartfelt gestures. Each tape carried a message that words alone couldn't express. It took hours to make a good one, and that effort made them feel personal and meaningful. Today's digital playlists are convenient, but they don't hold the same charm or emotional weight. 3. Heading home. When the streetlights came on. This simple rule shaped childhood in the 1980s. Kids spent hours outside climbing trees, playing football, riding bikes, building dens, and exploring neighborhoods with freedom. Parents didn't hover. They trusted the rhythm of the day. When the streetlights blinked on, it was the signal to wrap up the fun and head home. That moment, the warm orange glow lighting up the evening, is one of the most vivid and nostalgic memories for anyone who grew up during that decade. 2. Returning glass soda bottles for cash. Glass bottle returns were one of the quiet joys of the era. Shops offered small coins for each empty bottle brought back, and kids turned it into a treasure hunt. You'd collect bottles from neighbors, parks, and gardens, then walk proudly to the local shop to exchange them. The coins often went straight into sweets, crisps, or arcade games. It taught responsibility and gave children a mini sense of entrepreneurship. The sound of bottles clinking in a bag is still a nostalgic echo for anyone who lived through the 80s. 1. Renting VHS tapes for weekend movie nights. A trip to the video rental shop was the golden ritual of the decade. Families walked down aisles of chunky VHS cases, flipping through covers with dramatic artwork. Debates over which film to choose could last forever. Once you picked one, you headed home, popped popcorn, dimmed the lights, and gathered around the television. Watching a rented movie felt like a real event. You always rewound the tape before returning it, and late fees were a serious threat. These nights brought families together, creating warm memories that still feel special today. The 1980s gifted Britain a treasure chest of traditions that still stir warm memories today. From the charm of homemade mixtapes to the excitement of visiting video shops, these habits created bonds, laughter, and moments that shaped a generation. Even though the world has changed, the spirit of those years still lives on in the hearts of anyone who experienced them. Colorful, carefree, and unforgettable. Thank you for watching this video. Please don't forget to subscribe and turn on the notification bell.